Make a U-turn. In 1,000 feet, slide left, take the next left, sharp left, turn right on, continue on, in a quarter mile, at the light, in 600 feet, turn right on.
You have reached your destination.
Yep. So, quite a while ago, I bought some MGB seat frames from a guy out of Delaware, knowing that I wanted to morph them into something that is rather rare in the MGA world, specifically competition deluxe seats. I've never seen them in person. I've only seen them in catalogs, and I've only found a couple of vendors that provide the actual seat skins for them. So this video is how I used MGB seat frames, changed them in accordance with Barney Gaylord's site, and the steps I've taken to make my own competition deluxe seat frames. So this is a screen grab from Barney's site, and it shows the three different kinds of seats that you would see in an MGA. Roadster on the left, Coupe in the center, and the competition deluxe on the right side. It's that horseshoe pattern comfiness kind of a thing that I wanted to emulate, and again, I just couldn't find seat frames, so I more or less made my own. So to get the full blow-by-blow instructions, how to do this, where to put webbing, parts and vendors and so forth, take a look at mgaguru.com and specifically look at INT-114 and a whole series of 114As and Bs and so forth. It goes really, really in depth on what to do with morphing these seat frames. I took that as a basis and kind of went my own direction, and I will show that as we go along. And at some point when mine are done, that's how they look. The top and the bottom again are off of mgaguru.com, Barney's site. Take a look there if you haven't recently, or if you haven't at all. There's a ton of great information out there. The seats I've ordered, as you saw from a prior video, hopefully, are gray, dove gray, and that's how they're going to look. And I've also brought down the frames here. I need to strip those. Get all the rust and junk and gunk and so forth off. That's going to be painful, but messy, but there we go. And I'm kind of cleaning up my garage because it's been a while, so that's going to be my evening spent here. Okay, so let's get a gander at what we're looking at here. These are MGB seat frames, and according to Barney's site, these can be morphed, changed, surgeried to fit what I need to do. So I don't have frames for MGA deluxe seats, and these things apparently, if you take an inch or so out of here plus here and so forth, there he is, you can fit what you need to fit, and the rest is just putting stuff on. So first order of business is to clean these things up. Got these from a really knowledgeable guy out of Delaware. Had a nice road trip there, and I'm just now getting into them. So without further ado, I've got I have all this crap here to get off. I'm just thinking out loud, which isn't very loud. I'm just thinking to myself, got all manner of abrasives and all kinds of crap, so I don't know how long it'll take for me to get all this stuff done, but I'll knock off most of the rust, convert the rest of it with chemicals, and just paint over it, I think. Yep. Yeah, there we go. Let's get it going. All right, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a lot of dust in the air, so I'm working on an N9 COVID mask to filter out all this crap from my lungs. I've used that sucker to make these things look like this. There's some areas I just couldn't get to, like that, and like that. So I'm going to round this up with, where is it? Sandpaper. and that stuff. That is a cup of this rust converter. I bought this from Eastwood. Was it Eastwood? No, I think it was Summit. Eastwood. Oh, never mind. Eastwood's not on my. Yeah. Anyway, so noise canceling, lots of noise. So what's next is covering all of these, every inch of these things with that stuff to break up what's left of the rust. And tomorrow, I'll do what surgery is necessary, I think. And then paint, I guess. Yeah, so I don't really have a plan. A plan for a lot of these things. I just kind of go with what feels right. I do research and I stop and I go and there we go. So I'm going to keep on going. All right, and there they are. It looks black, but it's kind of purple. The muriatic acid that reacts with rust and so forth turns purple, or by the end of the morning, it should be like a light silver or gray. And so, given that you'll never see this, it's nice to know that the rust is gone. I got some research to do. Yeah, that's it. Again, using that stuff there. And it's a good rust eater. I'll tell you what. Way to go, Eastwood. Not Eastwood, I'm sorry, Summit. Bought that at Summit. So I'll let this go overnight and do its thing. And then I will paint the crap out of it with that rust stuff. The chassis paint. I've got 4 or 5 cans of it still left. So that's nice and black. But I won't do that tomorrow. I'll probably do that. Well, maybe I will. After I do the surgery that I need to this. So here we go. Okay, so I've not yet trimmed this down, but I spent a little bit of time putting the floorboards together. Well, at least putting something on there so I could identify which was which. And you can see why you have to narrow the MGB seats to make a competition deluxe seat. Right there. And right there. So these MGB seats are just too wide. The frames are too wide. And for it to obviously fit the seats I bought, the stuff, it's gotta, be shortened. So let's pause and move this out of the way. Okay, so the intent is to, I'll just zoom out a little bit so you can kind of see it. There you go. Definitely not coupe seats. Definitely not roadster seats, because roadster seats have a jog to the inner portion of the car. And there. So zip in the middle or somewhere thereabouts. Zip down there, zip down here. Okay, so here, obviously in the back, obviously on the bottom. I'll probably do it here. And then somewhere up top by an inch on both sides. Per the article that I'll cite in my description, it's an inch. Gotta take an inch out of the entire thing. I thought about taking my angle grinder and putting all kinds of crap into my hair and on the floor and my workbench and everything else, and then I remembered I've got this sucker. It's a pipe cutter. So I'm going to try that. In fact, I'm going to do it now. You can watch me, maybe even laugh. Okay, here we go. I use this to great effect on my my brake lines as well as my fuel line. So if you ever use one of these things, I'll show you right quick. This is it. Pipe goes through here, seated on this, and as you turn it, you tighten it down, making it more and more cinched down, and the cutter does its job. What do I want to do this? more toward the center, I think. What I don't want to do is do it center here and then center up there. I want to move it over such that I've got differential in how the whole thing strains and so forth. Okay, so a little bit tight. Yeah, okay, done. At least with this one. I'll weld these tomorrow. It's getting late, and I need to go to bed. There's that one, obviously that one, and the difference is up there, of course. And these are the plugs I've taken out. They're all the same length, so that's good. That's very good. Again, more to come. Okay, so here's today's work. I've got this thing balanced and set up and joined more or less the way that I wanted to, and I'm going to weld it back together, minus the 1 inch I took out of each piece. You can see there's a slight gap there, and that's on purpose. One, because it's good for penetration. When you weld something like that, you want the welds to go all the way through to each side. And two, because of the same reason. So I've got it stabilized here. I've got it stabilized there with a magnet. What I'm going to do is do a couple of stitches, one here, one there, and then I'll move away from it. And I'll do the same thing on the other side, one, in little splooches, so that it's stable, but it's not hot enough to necessarily warp this this metal. This stuff is, what the thickness this is, quarter inch. So I'm not worried about burning through it, busting through it. But I don't want to overheat it and therefore cause it to bend or warp. So without further ado, I'm not going to put this on camera, but I'm going to weld it. Okay, done. That's a hole for one of these things. Goes in like this, I think. I don't actually remember. Anyway, done, and done. What was I gonna say? It's done too. Yep. So lessened by an inch. Squished in a little bit. What I'm going to do next is take off the seat rails and paint everything. So that's where the back goes. That's the back of the whole thing. Obviously, you can see that this one on the right, that one on the left, and the rails facing inward. I'll probably put some graphite and grease in there. I don't actually know where my seat rails are. Yep. So another sort of unboxing day video that's going to go with what I'm doing here. Because these frames have, let me see if I can find an example. It's on the other side. These, let's see, where was it? I believe here and here, as well as here and there and so forth. That's where the MGB seat stuff would attach to, right? Using those clips that I've got. I put the damn things. Some over here, I think. Yeah. I don't necessarily like these. So what I'm going to do is drill holes again in the side here this way. Not necessarily in the same location, but perhaps here and on. 3 or 4 different locations to go with the webbing. And to do that, drilling holes using these things, riv nuts. I've never heard of these things until just recently, so I bought a packet of them, as well as this, which is the actual piece here. So one way of doing these is screwing something into the riv nut and then backing it out with something along the center, forcing that entire portion there with the groove to get squished in, and therefore attaching itself to whatever you're putting it into. I did try that actually before I bought the riv nut. Where's that damn thing? And it started to squish out just a little bit, but you can see that I really dorked up the screw. And I want to keep the holes in those frames as small as possible, so I've got 632 size machine screws. And I bought this thing. So here's how it'll look. These are one of the pieces I had yanked out. Riv nut goes right in there, and then using what I just showed you, it'll back it out and squish in, turn into a rivet, those threaded bits there. So I'm going to stop and show you how this thing works with the riv nut gun. So let's start the basic understanding of how these things work, right? Normal rivet, small, nail-headed kind of. This end goes through the holes of what you're trying to fasten. You then put the rivet, the gun over it, and then as you squeeze down, watch the rivet. It squishes out. One more time. So that would have stayed in the piece that's being fastened, and what's left comes out. The same sort of a deal is going on. Put this down with this. This screws in, and as it pulls out, this portion screws into the actual riv nut that you're attaching, and it works in the same way that I just showed you with the with my rivet gun. I'll press pause and set it up. There it is, all set up. Right. Screw that on there. Gently put that in. Let's see if I can zoom out just a bit. And that's it. There she blows. Nice and tight. There. So now I have a captive nut. Show you what it looks like on the inside. Yeah. Going nowhere. And it provides a little bit of structural support between upper and lower portions. It's not going to come out. And again, this is the system I'm going to use to fasten the straps that go on the bottom and on the back. I'll pause. I won't pause. Off camera, I'm going to do the drilling and so forth. And I'll show you the straps in a different one, but here goes nothing. This is what it's going to look like, basically. I mean, I'm going to have 5 cross and 2 up and down. I think that's the same as what an MGB would use, I think. I don't know. This is the way I'm doing it. At first, I thought I would wrap these around like this and have the anchor point out like that. But then I remembered that under these, one puts a tack strip actual wood to the the cross brace here. I'm wondering. Anyway, so that tack strip is what the actual, at least I think, what the actual naga hide and leather and so forth would attach to. Maybe I should research that. But at any rate, my intent is to drill on the outside, here, 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 for these puppies, and then go from there. And there we go. Can't see the other side. You kind of can see, but there we go. So I do have a device that makes eyelets where I can use that webbing. But it's way, way, way too big. I bought the wrong tool. So I have to order another one, I guess, or hit Hobby Lobby or something. In the meantime, I'll do the same drilling there. And this is what the back will look like. In looking at the pictures that I've seen, these webbings go above this back cross brace a little bit loosely, but I'm just putting it here so I've got enough webbing and length of it. Excuse me. So I'll drill all these holes and fill them, except for the top one there, and then fill them with what I need to fill them with. I need to order another one of these. By the way, this is not nylon. Nylon tends to stretch and get brittle over time, especially if it sees UV. This is polypropylene, which stretches just a tiny bit and lasts forever. So thought I'd put that out there. I've got to order another one because that's all I've got left, and I've not done the other seat yet. Frame, that's just right there. So yeah. That's done. I'm not going to put an eyelet up here. All finished. So now I'll pause, order the right tools that I need, and continue. Okay, today is continuing with the webbing day. I ordered a whole bunch of these eyelets from Amazon. The order didn't come, so I got to redo this. Went to Michael's and bought these instead. So my intention, I have a whole bunch of my webbing ready to go. Fold it over by about 1 inch to 1.5 inches or so, and then sew it a couple different ways so it's nice and strong. Heat this puppy up using either a blowtorch or this. And then poking a hole right through the center, right about there. Okay, and then using metal eyelets, the ones I bought from Michael's. You got this piece and this piece. This piece goes through the hole. Is it the other way? This piece goes in the hole. There you go, and then this goes over it. And then using a punch of some sort, and a base, you produce this. Now I've already ascertained that this works, obviously, and these are the bolts, the machine screws I'll be using to affix the webbing to my frame, and they fit perfectly, just perfectly. Of course, I'll be using washers and that kind of stuff to go with it, but you know, it is going to be a good setup. I'll show you right quick how this works. There we go. I've got the two sandwiched pieces together. Goes in the base. Put it on the center. Couple good whacks. And maybe some more good whacks. But that's how it'll look. In the meantime, the center is shoved down nice and good. Gonna whack it a couple more times, I guess. But anyway, this will affix very nicely to this. So, I've got a bunch of these puppies to do, so I'll take these downstairs. I'm only going to do one end, and then I'll do the other end later when I know what the length is, because they're slightly different throughout the that base. And I cut these at different lengths just to be sure that I had enough. So, without further ado, I want to get sewing, and that'll be that. And there it is. There's everything. Well, not everything. I've got one more side to do, but I'll do that tailor-made. I have an issue with my sewing machine. I don't think it's tightening the thread like it should be. I've had some very good luck, and I've double stitched everything, and I've had some ugly luck. Again, this is double stitched. I just didn't take all the crap out that didn't work well. So they're awfully tight. I've already tried these things. So what I'm going to do now is take these to my garage. I'll pause and show you. And like this. Okay, so screwed in there. Got a washer. What I'm going to do is, once this is nice and tight, kind of get an idea of where I need to place the next one. And then once I have that, I have a pretty good idea of where all of them go. So, that stated, here would be the first one, right? So I'd either poke a hole, or I would use a marker maybe, but mark that somehow. I do have different lengths, and I mixed them up because I'm dumb. I wasn't thinking ahead when I was doing my sewing. So I'm going to tie that off or melt it. Longer ones that way, shorter ones that way. And without any further ado, I will get started. Alright, so here's sort of a status video, kind of halfway between. Nothing is, I need to put washers and so forth in there, so I'm not done, but I'm just putting this here so I can start marking off the other holes. Here's what it'll look like. And like the others, I'll tighten these down, find where the hole goes, and start to make it happen. Make it happen, yeah. So far so good. This part of it is done. That's the seat base. Nothing to report. Feels pretty good, nice and taut. And so what's next is that puppy. And that's done. All right, so I'm more or less done with what I was doing, and I am going to stop here's how you make your own competition deluxe seat frames. What's next, of course, is covering everything with all of the skins and all the other stuff. I'll do those in different videos. I think what I'll do next is that puppy, do all the mods to it that I need to do, plus the drilling, plus all the other stuff I've done with rib nuts. Doesn't look too bad, does it? Not bad at all. Decent stitching. I used 832 rib nuts. I started off with a couple on 632, but they're, too small for my taste, so I drilled them out and went here instead. And I'll put these two together. I'll put the seat and the top together. And here's how they'll look together. Nothing's bolted together, of course, and again, I need to put seat skins and frames and seat skins plus all the other stuff that goes with it on top. So I have more work to do to put the seat together, but the modification of the frame is done. Competition Deluxe seats. Here we go. right, this is off my to-do list. This is a quick one. I have something to fix. But it's all said and done. This is a new front end on a BMW 3 Series, I think, for my friend's son. You can hear my sticky feet. Covered up the MG, covered up that thing, got the cars out of the driveway, and not bad, not bad, not bad. Not bad.